Hey friends, thanks for all the support and sharing these videos with your friends. It really means so much to me to know that I'm not just sitting here talking to a computer and that I may be making a small difference. Unfortunately, this will be the last video in the numerical reasoning series. I'll be doing verbal reasoning next. So if there were any questions in this series that you feel I went too fast on, or you'd like more examples of any type of question I've covered, make sure to put in the comments and I'll do my very best to respond to them. Like most of you, I'm going back to school on Monday, so videos might not come out as often, but I'll try very hard to get videos out every week or two. All the very best of luck with any tests you may be sitting. Once again, thanks for all the support and I look forward to reading comments about how you're going with school and tests. Question 16. Abby gave Ben 3/4 of her jelly beans. Ben ate 3/4 of his jelly beans and gave the rest to Charlotte. She ate 4 and gave Dean 8. How many jelly beans did Abby have before she shared them out? So to solve this question, we're going to work from the back of the question towards the front. So the last thing that happened in this question was that Charlotte ate 4 jelly beans and gave Dean 8. So how many jelly beans did Charlotte have in total? Well, Charlotte ate 4 and gave 8 away. So in total, she would have had 4 plus 8, which is 12. Now the next step is that Ben ate 3/4 of his jelly beans and gave the rest to Charlotte. Charlotte had 1/4 of Ben's jelly beans. And we know that 1/4 of Ben's jelly beans is 12 because Charlotte has 12 jelly beans. So 1/4 of Ben's jelly beans is equal to 12. So how do we figure out how many jelly beans Ben had in total? Well, we have to multiply it by 4 again to make it a whole, because right now it's been divided by 4. That's why it's 1/4. So 12 times 4 equals 48. So Ben has 48 jelly beans. And the first step says that Abby gave Ben 3/4 of her jelly beans, which means that Ben has 1/4 of Abby's jelly beans. And it's because we know Ben has 48 jelly beans, 1/4 of Abby's jelly beans is 48. So if we do the same thing, which is multiplying it by 4, we get 48 times 4. And the answer to that is 192. So the amount of jelly beans that Abby had before she shared them out is 192. Question 17. A group of runners run 16 kilometers. They run at an average speed of 8 kilometers per hour. They run for 45 minutes, take a 20-minute break, then run the rest of the way. If they started at 10 a.m., what time will they finish the run? Okay, so already looking at this question, it does look quite tricky, but I promise you it's easier than it looks. So, if we look at the first couple sentences, it says they run at an average speed of 8 kilometers per hour, and they're running 16 kilometers. So we know that 8 goes into 16 2 times. So if they're running 16 kilometers and they're going at 8 kilometers per hour, it will take them 2 times the hour to run 16 kilometers, which is 2 hours. So it should take them 2 hours to finish the entire run. But the next part of the question says they run for 45 minutes and then they take a 20-minute break. So if they take a 20-minute break, we need to add 20 minutes to this running time. So if we add 20 minutes, that just gives us 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we can ignore the run for 45 minutes because it doesn't really matter when they take the break. We just need to know how long the break goes for. To find when they finish the run, we're going to do 10 a.m. plus 2 hours and 20 minutes. So 10 o'clock plus 2 hours and 20 minutes is 12:20. So when will they finish the run? They'll finish it at 12:20 p.m. Question 18. What is the area of the shaded part of this triangle? Okay, so this is another question that looks a lot more tricky than it actually is. So the way to do this question is we need to find the area of this smaller triangle and subtract it from the area of the whole triangle. And that will give us the area of this shaded part. So let's do that. Right, so the way to find the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So to find the area of the smaller triangle, the base is 5 and the height is 6. So 5 times 6 divided by 2. 5 times 6 is 30 divided by 2 is 15. So the area of the smaller triangle is 15 centimeters squared. and the area of the biggest triangle. Well, we can see that the height is 8, but what's the base? It doesn't tell us. Well, it does tell us the base of 2 parts of the triangle. So if we add them together, that'll give us the base of the whole triangle. So 3 plus 5 is 8. So to find the area of the biggest triangle, it will be 8 times 8 over 2. 8 times 8 is 64, divided by 2 is 32. So the area of the big triangle is 32 centimeters squared. So now, to find the area of the shaded part, we have to subtract these two areas. 32 minus 15 is 17. So the area of the shaded part of this triangle is 17 centimeters squared. Question 19. 12 people are in a room. 8 have socks on, 6 have shoes on, and 5 have both. How many people are in bare feet? Okay, so we have to find out how many people are only wearing socks and how many people are only wearing shoes to find out how many people are in bare feet. So if 8 have socks on and 5 have both, that means that 8 people have socks on, 5 of them also have shoes on, which means that the amount of people who only have socks on would be 8 minus 5, which is 3. And the amount of people who only have shoes on would be 6 minus 5, which is 1. And 5 people have both. So if we add all of those together and then subtract it from 12, we'll know how many people are in bare feet. 3 plus 1 plus 5 is 9. 12 minus 9 is 3. So 3 people are in bare feet. Question 20. A salesman is paid $30 per hour plus 50% of the money on every item he sells. If he sells 114 items valued at $20 each during his 30-hour work week, how much money did he make this week? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find how much money he made from just doing his work. So if he makes $30 per hour and he worked for 30 hours, the way we'd find that would be 30 times 30. So we can cancel the 2 zeros and do 3 times 3, which is 9, and add the 2 zeros back on, which makes 900. So $900 is his hourly wage. In other words, that's how much money he gets paid for just being there. So in this case, it's $30 per hour for 30 hours. Now, we need to figure out how much he earned from actually getting 50% of the money on everything he sells. So instead of doing 114 times 20, we can say that, well, he gets 50% of the money, so he gets 50% of the $20, which means that he makes $10 on every item he sells, which is a lot easier to work out, because 114 times 10 is 1,140. So he makes $1,140. Well, that's how much he made from selling everything. So if we add those together, we can get the total amount of money he made this week. And that gives us $2,040. And that is the end of the numerical reasoning series. As I mentioned at the start, I'll be doing verbal reasoning next. I look forward to learning together in the next video.